All right, Chris, it has been how long has it been? It's been at least a month. Has it been a month?
It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm excited to be back. I missed it. I'm donning a Toronto Blue Jays hat that I pulled out of my closet, buried for the last several decades. Not a baseball fan, but start of October, I realized that Toronto Blue Jays had a pretty decent season and were making their way to what is now going to be World Series showing.
Saw something where the Canadian Prime Minister said something like he wanted to make a bet with Donald Trump or something about the World Series, which I thought was weird because there's no Canadians on the Toronto Blue Jays. None of the players other than Vladimir Guerrero Jr., whose dad was Vladimir Guerrero and was just played for the Montreal Expos. I don't think they've got any other Canadians on the team. I mean, he's kind of like basically from the Dominican Republic, I think. I mean, his dad is. I mean, maybe he grew up in Montreal, I don't know.
Did he take the bet?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe
That's
he
too bad.
will. He's probably just hedging his bets. It's like if the Dodgers go up by like 2 or 3 games, it's gonna be like, "Hey, I tried texting you."
Honestly, I think it's super random to claim to be a Toronto Blue Jays fan, considering we have like the Baltimore Orioles with some cool history with like the Iron Man, right?
Are
Cal
you a Blue
Ripken.
Jays fan?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting to. So I grew up in the early 90s, and that's when I realized later on, like the Blue Jays were in the World Series 92, 93, right? I mean, the
Against the
stat
Phillies.
against the Phillies, which would have made more sense to be a Phillies fan. And they've come around in recent years, which is pretty cool. But
Yeah.
my uncle is from Canada, and so I always assumed he was a Toronto Blue Jays fan because he was Canadian. And as I got older, though, I saw him start to wear a Yankees hat. And this is after like my childhood. He's like, go, you like them Blue Jays, right? Go Blue Jays. I'm yeah, Blue Jays, Blue Jays. Like a 7-year-old kid, just wearing the same hat pretty much. And it's like, "What's going on? I thought you were a Blue Jays fan." He's like, "Well, I've always actually been a Yankees fan and all that." And I realized he had bandwagoned pretty much the Toronto Blue Jays. And come to think of it, they were from Montreal. So to have been an Expos fan when they existed would have made more sense. So I realized the whole time, now I'm like this isolated Toronto fan in Delaware. My uncle doesn't even really root for him. Maybe he will now because they're in the World Series.
My family was all Yankee fans too. Not me. I was always a Phillies guy, but we actually went to a couple Phillies games, the 2 of us, I think. We
Yeah.
had some really good seats a couple of
We
times.
did. Ashley and I were talking about they were talking about some of the different games that she's like, "Well, what games have you been to?" And I remember going over to like Camden Yards growing up when they were playing, Blue Jays as like a family. And then we've, as adults have gone over to the Phillies and that there's some good seats that we had. There was some fun times. It's like, who's your team? Like Nashville Predators, really random, but another random story.
Oh, that is true. But you have always been kind of this isn't the first time you brought up the Nashville Predators. I mean, you've been a
Right.
Nashville Predator guy for a while. And what are we drinking today, Chris?
I know. Speaking of good branding with logos, I have another Delaware local beer. I think we've highlighted some good Delaware beers or local
Yeah.
beers, but with Halloween approaching and some of the themes of our books being kind of spooky, eerie, thriller, haunted things, I have Franken Booberry fruited sour from Crooked Hammock. Apparently
I
to
thought it was
avoid
just gonna be called Frankenboob for a second. I was like,
turn it slow to read it.
you were keep turning. You were like, it's Frankenboob?
Franken Booberry. I mean, it got your attention. I think they used some cereal, but, like, for, like, copyright trademark laws, it just says, "Combining 2 of our Halloween favorite cereals."
My daughter is having her 13th birthday party next week, and we're gonna do like a Halloween thing. We're gonna have like 40 kids at this house in costumes. It's gonna be I
I'll be
think
praying for you, man.
I'm worried I'm worried my wife is bitten off more than she can chew,
It could
but
be.
I guess we're gonna see. We're gonna
Yes.
see. We've read all 3 of our books. Our Wickedest of Things was the number 2 seed. I Know What I Saw was the 3 seed. That's just how the order we read them in. And then the 1 seed was Carousel. We read them a little out of order because I made a mistake. We just kind of screwed that up. But so I think we can do it in the order we read them, or we could say, what was our bottom pick? We could do that. What do you think? I could give my number 3 right now, and then you could give your number 3. And if they match, we can go ahead and talk about them. Does that make good sense?
Yep, let's do it. Let's eliminate.
Let's eliminate. All right, my number 3 was Wickedest Things,
Correct. Wickedest of things.
and that was also your number 3.
It was. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, since you kind of were leading the point on that one, why don't you go ahead and get started with I mean, it was a longer one, it was a lot of these were a lot shorter than that one, but you go ahead. You kick it off with, Wickedest of Things here.
Yeah. I mean, I think,
Oh, and I should say this. Let
yeah.
me say this. We'll just do spoilers. Like we're gonna spoil these. I assume if you've watched this show and you've been following along with these books, you've either read them or you haven't. We're gonna spoil these. Do not be afraid to give spoilers.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that disclaimer. That's good. And pause the show if you need to. Go buy the book, read it real quick. First statement is something that you threw out there right away, and you talked about the length of the book. And I thought that was very observant of you, the number of pages versus some of the other selections throughout the book battle. And I wasn't paying attention. I didn't really whatever if it had the hook in the beginning and I was into the story, then so be it. It won that week's book battle round, and we kind of kept working our way through. But as a finalist, diving into it and starting to read it, the length of it started to catch up with me. And so it started to lose some of its excitement, if you will. And I have to say, like, when you kind of throw out there like you could trim these pages out even without reading it. Like you could short, I guarantee you could short this book down. I was like, is he really just like threw that out there without really knowing if this story is gonna be good or not? But at the end of the day, I think there was a lot that could be cut and shortened or adding in a whole other dynamic of the story to make sense to have it at that length.
So you've got a 600-page story here, and in the first 300 pages, which I actually think were the better 300 pages at the front half, it's just 300 pages, and we're just building up to this moment where they go into this labyrinth where we know everything's going to go to shit. I mean, because by that point we know there's this seedy guy that works for the company and he's kind of a dope and he's screwing with this robot AI thing that they have. And you just know that this robot, like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, you just know they're going to go ballistic and start killing people in the second half. And it really just kind of plays out exactly the way you would think, and I think I would have but I think I would have enjoyed it at 300 pages. I mean, if you take 150 pages to get to the labyrinth, and then you've got 120 pages of just fighting with this robot thing, and then you just kind of close it out at the end, I think it would have been real clean. I mean, the thing is, like, he's just a lot of his sentences were just like, you used that one sentence last week as an example.
It says, "It was like you were eating a chocolate-covered raisin soaked in Jägermeister, then cursed by an evil wizard."
He spends like 10, 15 words and you have no idea how this thing tastes. It's like you didn't get anything from that. You know what I mean? As another example, before they go into the labyrinth, there's this countdown. It's like 5, and then it's like 5, and then like it's 3 paragraphs between 5 and 4 of stuff we don't care about. You know, it's like 5, 4, and it's like more paragraphs of stuff. It's like, come on, man. By that point, it's just like, let's get in there and see what's going on. But it did kind of play out pretty predictably. I mean, you kind of know when you have those AI robot things. Like, I'm a big Star Trek guy. And the thing with Data is, if you're a Star Trek person, it's like when Data gets hacked, it's like a problem. I mean, one time I remember he got hacked by his like creator or something, and he took over the Enterprise in like 5 seconds.
Initiate order sequence. Computer. Recognize Picard. Jean-Luc. Alpha 2 clearance.
Priority clearance recognition, Alpha 2.
Cancel separation sequence.
You got to be careful with those robots, man. You can't.
Gotta be
You can't.
careful. As I read it, I did feel that I really understood some of the characters at times because the amount that we kept diving into the character build, like a lot of scenes that, if this was a movie, I imagine they cut a lot of these scenes would never make it. The relationship that I was hoping would be built between the two main characters, I think at the end there's a little bit of like a one-liner thing after reading 600 some pages that they like each other, but it's like that is not enough to get past spot 3 in these books, that's for sure. And I have to say the predictability of it all, I think there was some not twists, but like, okay, like I think you were joking about where this was going or like, "The guy's a robot."
It would go that way. I was hoping, but they didn't do any of that. It plays out exactly the way
There's
it's
no
all
big
set up.
twist. There's no big twist. I think how they get like how the AI becomes dangerous, was probably a little bit of the biggest twist, the guy kind of messing with it. And I think that,
Best stuff. That was the best stuff, I thought. I mean, the robot and that guy, I thought were the best stuff, I thought.
but I started that book thinking that the labyrinth they were entering was going to be deadly on its own, like some sort of
Right.
thriller. And really, without the AI, that was like not there at all. I mean, it was like,
No, it would have just been a corporate retreat.
no, it's true. And then uh, the other thing that I had, my last critique, they kept re- they kept reiterating how they couldn't believe so and so was lost. Like they're all kind of like, oh, I just can't believe it. Oh, and this person's gone. But then another few pages, another few, another next chapter. Oh, and looking back and reminiscing, it's like, you're not even out of here yet. You're not even out of here yet. Like, maybe that's at the very end. Like, are we gonna make it? I just can't believe everybody we've lost. And the final, like, get out or something. I felt like it happened at least 3 or 4 times in the book where somebody's reminiscing. I just can't believe that this person's now gone. And it's like, I don't know. I'm gonna be gone reading this book if we don't finish up soon. So, and as I said, I feel like I kept pace with it, even as a self-proclaimed slower reader. I kept pace with the book, but by the end of it, I was like, let's go. Let's be done.
Yeah, yeah, I was definitely like, I was ready to be done with it when I was done with it. I mean, honestly, I don't think I would have made it much past the escape room scene because, like, the escape room scene, actually, I was kind of like, oh man, he's gonna show off his big brain. He's gonna get out of this escape room. He's so confident when he goes in. Like everybody else goes in with 6 people, he just takes in one guy. Is like, I'll be able to get out of this escape room. I'm like, all right, he's gonna do something really cool, and he just breaks a lock. These next two are a lot tighter than, and these next two. This is actually a rematch. This is a week 2 rematch for the
Yeah.
championship.
Wow.
Who's
Interesting.
gonna win the whole thing? So I do have one that I picked as my number 2. But if we don't match, I could be persuaded to switch teams. But why don't we talk about each of them first before spoiling the lead? That way, at the end of the show, we can like drop the balloons and the confetti and everything.
Ta-da. Okay.
So
So
we read I Know What I Saw first, which that one is, I mean, I hate to say that I knew this one, I actually predicted the whole thing. I wouldn't be surprised if there is no Bigfoot. There is no Bigfoot. It's something else. I think it's your standard murder mystery, like a guy in a costume, like Scooby Doo or something. That's where I'm thinking. I mean, I remember when we were talking about it, I said, I don't think Bigfoot's going to show up. I think it's a Scooby Doo thing. Where it's just like this is what I said, and it's like, I think it's just like
Boo
a
Bear
guy.
Frankenstein, Scooby
I was
Doo.
like, I think it's just a guy in a costume, and that's what it was. It was just a guy in a costume, which was a real bummer. But the thing reads really. It's only 230 pages, so it reads a lot nicer. The thing that was one of the things that kind of bummed me out on this one was it didn't feel like the heroine was ever really in danger at all until the very, very, very end. But that was actually pretty good at the very, very end. I mean, not the very end. They kind of do a Deus Ex Machina thing where she just kind of gets out of jail free at the end. You go ahead. Tell me what you're thinking as far as I know what I saw.
I think that I was really hyped about some Sasquatch action, some Bigfoot action, some Yeti action. I was really hoping that it was gonna be just straight up fiction, mythological creature going on, whatever, like, and plus some. I think that's what I was saying when we were talking about this book, or even when we brought it back. Like, I think there's something else here. Like, they did something in the woods, like witchcraft or something on top of Bigfoot. So it was like two things at once, like two stories going on. Like, they're getting themselves into trouble doing some sort of witchcraft or hocus pocus. And then at the same time, there is Bigfoot. So we're going to merge these two really crazy stories. Maybe that would have been too much, but I think the fact that it took a turn that was more like Scooby-Doo-esque, if you will, um I think that was a little disappointing, but I think it still read well. I think it held up with how, you know what? I think starting the book, it finished that way too. Like, I think it started well. I think it had a pretty good hook. I think it read well the whole time. And then, I mean, at the end, I think I started trying to guess a little bit like, oh, this is, and I don't think the guessing was that hard. Like, oh, this is going to be the guy.
If your teacher, girls particularly, if your teacher invites you into the classroom and says, you can call me Dave when no one's around, that guy's not a good guy.
No, no. And it was
As soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh, he's a killer. He's a
yeah,
killer."
yeah, and I mean, it was still good. I was like, "Oh," it kept me like, "Oh, man, here you go." Like, "Oh, here, here it is." And I was like, if it wasn't, then I thought that would have been a good twist. Like, this is obviously who they wanna this is who I would think it is. I think it was enough of a twist on its own.
Well, and then they had the thing with they had kind of a what's the fish? Red herring. They had a red herring with the other teacher who's like dropping the "I know what you did last summer" note in the locker. It's like, come on, like who's hiring these teachers? But actually, to talk about some good stuff, I mean, I thought the relationship build in this was probably of the three books we read in here in the championship. I mean, I thought the relationship build between Simon and what's our main character's name? I can't remember, but I thought that build was a little bit better. I mean, you kind of got the kid, he's in the friend zone, and then, they get you can cut, but he doesn't really have a lot to do with the story though. I mean, really. Um like he doesn't help get her out of the situation at the end. She really just kind of lucks out at the end of the story, honestly, because the main character is pretty dumb. I mean, she's like, we all know this guy is no good. She's getting into the car with all the other kids at school know that this guy's like no good, her friend or whatever. She's the
Yeah.
one that ultimately calls the police. She's like, "Oh, don't get in the car with that guy." you know, like everybody else seems to know, but our main character just kind of like gets in the car with this guy that we know is no good. But that was actually pretty good suspense wise. I was like, "Oh man, she's in the car with a bad hombre." That was getting pretty good there at the end. But then she just kind of resolves it pretty cheaply at the end. But a lot of these critiques I have, I think if I was 12 or 13, I don't think I'd have noticed. I think I'd have really liked it. Um, you know,
And even keeping stuff to herself, like, as an adult, you're like, "What are you doing?" Like, just tell somebody, like, you're blowing up the situation. But, I mean, that's what somebody in high school would do. So, I mean, it made sense. It was like it fit the main character's age, and it maybe fit the demographic of the book. But it was a good book. I felt a little bit, picking this one up and trying to jump into it after, The Wickedest Things, like yeah, yeah.
roll.
I was trying to get over a little bit of my fatigue of the length of that story, but, it was good to jump into something that I knew was a little bit, I'll say, shorter, just straight up.
Really shorter, but just like it just had a better cadence to it. I mean, there wasn't a lot of, she didn't have a lot of like every line was like, you take that line out and this paragraph doesn't make sense anymore. I mean, there were a lot of sentences in the other one where it's like, if I took that sentence out, this paragraph still works fine. So I think everything there needs to be there. Like I said, I think if I was like 13 or 14, I think I'd have liked it. The other thing is this one is a lot less. They use a lot more bad words in the carousel one, and there's a little more,
Mm,
sex talk in that one. But this one actually has like kind of a deeper theme about like sexual violence that she just kind of drops out of nowhere. I think there's that scene with the dad where he's talking to the
yeah,
main character about
yeah, you're right.
how her mom was maybe molested or something. It just comes out of nowhere, and I was like,
Definitely abused
but
somehow.
it sort of matches because I think we're supposed to get that our killer is like a sexual molester too. I mean, really. So it kind of worked thematically. So yeah, there's a lot to like about that one.
Yeah,
So
still disappointed there was no Bigfoot, though, I have to say.
yeah, I know. I mean, I knew the
Extremely
whole
disappointed
time.
there was no Bigfoot, it's just, oh, no, but good story, and the ending and where it does go, it fits well. I think, yeah, interesting, interesting. Alright, so the
So then
final read.
our number one seed was Carousel. Now, and of course, this one, there it is. And this one was my favorite when we read them through the first round. I think I said it before. I mean, this one was definitely the one I liked the most. Reading everybody's samples, this is the one that I was definitely into the most. I mean, because we've got our two main, and I think I remember saying it was really, really focused in the sample because we just have our two main characters, and then they go to this abandoned carnival in the woods, and then the sample ends, and then almost immediately they sit on one of these rides while they're flirting together, and then just get transferred into this nightmare carnival world where this carnival man is running around. And then they introduce a bunch of new characters. And this is actually like the novel actually kind of went downhill a little bit for me at that point, a little bit. I mean, just
With
because
the
they
new characters?
with the new characters because I'm like, I like my 2 main characters, and then I've got all these guys that come in, and I'm like, "Oh, these guys are just cannon fodder for the carnival man." And not all of them are. I mean, some of them do survive to the end, but a lot of them are just there to get shot out of cannons and cut in half and have their guts spill all over. I mean, I was enjoying it, but but I kinda knew I was like, "Okay," and then the whole time I'm, like, thinking, like, okay, but they're gonna have to get out of here. And the main character's kind of using like she's doing a lot of stuff that's like none of this is gonna work. She's obviously got to talk to this one character that no one's talked to, that no one knows anything about. That's the person that's gonna have the magic book gets out of the whole thing, and that's exactly what happens. But and the other thing I'll say before I turn it over to you is because I know I picked on the cover last time we had it on, because I was like, "Oh, I thought it was a little corny," but then I was like, "Yeah, maybe it's not corny. It's for young adults. It's fine." I will say this, that Carnival Man is n on the cover is not nearly as terrifying as the Carnival Man that's actually in the book. The Carnival Man in the
I'm
book is
looking at the cover, yeah.
yeah, I mean, the Carnival Man in the book is Freddy Krueger. He's Pennywise the Clown. I mean, he's a monster. I mean, that guy on the cover, I'd just go up and talk to that guy. I'd be like, "Come on, man. Can we get out of here?"
It's misleading for, like, subconsciously or consciously putting an image in your head of what this character is supposed to be, and it's not how it's described, so yeah, that would be the critique on the cover art. Doesn't do it justice for how the writer describes this, you know,
Monster. I mean,
the
he's
monster.
like a creepy, scary monster.
You mentioned a couple things. We were curious if they were gonna introduce other characters because if it's only gonna be those 2 trapped in this carnival, whatever it is, and we kind of enter this other dimension, so it's like
Right.
in a way. So, how are other characters gonna be introduced? So, the fact that there was others stuck there from different time frames, I didn't dislike that. Whether the characters are corny or not, or you didn't really buy into them as much as the main characters, I don't know. But I think it was a good way to introduce characters, and I wasn't sure if without this being like this weird dimensional thing, if other high school friends are gonna come find them, and it was just straight up a haunted carnival. So I don't know. Let me ask that. Like, are you glad that it was an alternate dimension in a way? I mean, or would you prefer it just to be a straight up haunted house?
I mean, I think haunted house, another dimension, it's all fine. It all works the same. You're in a spot and you're trapped and you can't get out and you got to get out some kind of way. I mean, it's fine. Haunted house, spaceship, carnival in another dimension, it's all the same. But I just a couple of things like too, I don't think you needed those characters because again, they're just there for cannon fodder. Let me posit you this. Like, how much more interesting would it have been is if instead of introducing all those other characters, what if we just introduced the one character that's been stuck in there forever that's got the magic book that they have to sing the song from the magic book at the end of the book to get out of it. It's not exactly that, but it's something like that. But what if instead of all those other characters, we just had her and Maddie and what's the main character's name?
Bad with the main character, Lauren,
Laura, that's it. Yes, Laura.
Laura, Laura.
So, what if instead of that, because in the middle of the book, Maddie gets mad at Laura. And why does she get mad at Laura? Because Laura just doesn't want to sit down and die. She's trying to get out. She's like, I'm trying to get out. And Maddie's like, you're being ridiculous. We're obviously doomed here for eternity. Meh. And then she runs off.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do?
It's like, dude, that was so lame. How much better would it have been? Is what if they kill Maddie in the middle of the book in this terrifying, horrible way? Cut her in half. I mean, that drives up the stakes so high because we like Maddie. Because after that thing where she runs off for no good reason, I'm kind of like, I mean, come on, girl, I'm trying to get us out of this. And you're just like, you're being a buzzkill. How much more horrible would it have been is if the carnival man catches Maddie and kills her in this horrific way, and then Laura has to go figure out how to get out of it at the rest of the way. Like,
I
I
thought
think
I
that would have
thought we
been
were about to
right.
see that happen, honestly. I thought toward the end of the book when they're trying to set up the, using the book of summons and trying to create the carousel as the trap. I thought when like Maddie was entranced that or hypnotized that we were gonna see like, dude, is this writer gonna go savage on us and like totally kill off her right at the end? Like right before she saves the day, it's like, sorry, sucker, you're gone, you're dead. I was like, that would have been
Yeah,
some stuff. That would have been
yeah.
pretty savage, pretty good. Maddie running off, yes, that was kinda silly. I mean, we enter the House of Mirrors, and that played an important part because she's able to take the shard of
You
mirror.
seen?
She goes so when the House of Mirrors and she's using the voice to mimic, and then when she goes to the trailer later on, it's not actually like the Carnival Man in image, it's like a monster. Originally thought I've never watched it or read it, Stephen King and Pennywise and all these things, but I think I've seen clips enough about it where I'm like, "V is this person maybe pulling from that a little bit with like the person's like the carnival man, but in reality, like it's actually this like wolf hunting creature, but it takes on a different form to sort of draw in people. Like I think even in part of the book, she tries to write in there he's learning to say like, and welcome to the show, like learning to try to like, and that's where the voice thing comes in because she talks about a smooth voice, like, that maybe this attractive voice. And I was like, why is that like that's kind of weird? It's not fitting. And it's like because it's like a hunter, and I'm like, kind of remind me, say my pop culture movie reference in that regard might not be strong enough to know truly like does it compare to it or not, but there was something there that felt like could be a reoccurring theme through like horror thriller type movies. Like,
It kind of reminded me more less of that and more of A Nightmare on Elm Street with like because you're kind this world is kind of like a dream world,
okay,
almost, and where
yeah,
Freddy Krueger runs the show, and this kind of felt a little similar to that, where this guy's powers are somewhat limited. He can't just do anything, which Freddy Krueger can just do anything once you're in the dream world. But it kind of reminded me more of like a Freddy Krueger type. And like I said, her description of him in the book is like he's a lot scarier than he looks on that cover.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
think he's got like, doesn't he have like long nails or something? I don't exactly remember, but he definitely seemed more terrifying. But then you look at the cover, it's just
I
some
mean, the
guy
cover
with a
should at least have
grin.
like again, I'm gonna mass this up like a Slender Man, Thin Man. I don't know, like the long fingers, like it maybe even long enough to have an extra joint kind of thing in there, and the
I think leave more to the imagination on the cover and
yeah.
let the words in there
Take the
do the
guy off, leave the
talking.
carousel. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would have gone a long way. What other thoughts do I have from this? I really liked those newspaper and news report things because it just was a way to break things up. It was a nice change up, but it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, good break. They were good breaks for a while, and you're right. Now you think about, I guess maybe it was trying to reconnect you to maybe time passing in the real world.
Right.
I don't know if the writer wanted you to know that they weren't there for decades. Like, how long
Yeah.
have they been here for? And maybe that could have
That
been a
was the
twist.
thing, because that would have
It
been really cool. That would have been
could
such a
have been
cool
40
twist.
if they were there for like 40 years or something like that.
That would have been such a cool twist at
Yeah,
the
that could have been
end,
cool. I
was
like
if they
that.
just got
Yeah,
out and then they're old or something. It's
like
like, "Oh,
yeah,
you've been here forever." Because
yeah.
those other characters that make it out, they become old people, it's like they become senior citizens when they get out of the thing, and it's like, "Oh, man, that sucks. You've been running around this terror carnival for 50 years, and it feels like 1, and now you're an old geezer with no family, nowhere to go." It's just
This is a great point. The girl that's finally opening up, Muriel, is her name Muriel? She's opening up and through her mumbling and brain that is now like mush from the trauma is like, I just don't want to die. I just don't want to die. I just don't want to die. And it's like, hey, help the hero save the day because guess what? You're dead. You're old. You didn't get to live your life. You aged out by beating the bad guy. You're dead, right? She doesn't get to live.
oh,
'Cause
it
she's
was
old.
like
She would've been
yeah.
well, she would've been 100 and some years old. So she's gone. She's just done. So, I mean, she didn't get tortured to death, I guess, but, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
well, you could kill yourself. I mean, the one guy took the method I would have taken. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna get out of here. I'm taking the roller coaster and I'm shooting it into the side of the dome. But I did like this one a lot. I mean, and I think I would have really liked it if I was like 13 or 14 or even 15 and I was reading this and I didn't have the benefit of having read a good billion other stories. I think I would have really, really liked this.
what do you think about
But
Do you think it was gruesome enough? You think that there was enough
Well, I
gore
think
in
it
it?
was gruesome
Too
enough.
much
I think it was
gory, or not
well,
like,
see,
not
it's
enough
kinda
ending?
funny because I saw has a little bit more its kind of scares are more like I said, it's more realistic with its scares because it's like a sexual predator that's, like, really running around. I mean, they don't really go into it that he's a sexual predator, but I mean, he definitely is. I mean, that's definitely what he is, I think. So that's a little bit more realistic, which is a little bit more scary, where this was a little more like just like a slasher movie, which is like people get killed in slasher movies. It's just kind of fun. You like, it's a slasher movie. You know, people are gonna get killed. Like those Final Destination movies, those are fun. They're not scary. I mean, at least not to me. I mean, they're just fun. How many ways can you come up with to blow somebody up or whatever? How many fun ways can you come up with to kill somebody? That's just fun, you know? But this one definitely had a lot more bad words and stuff in it too, because I do think like kids say bad words. Kids do say bad words when their parents aren't around. So the other character, and I know what I saw, she's like a goody two shoes,
Mm.
except she's not, you know, because she did slash that one girl's tires, but that seems to come out of nowhere. It doesn't match the character that we've seen at all. It's just that seemed totally divorced from but of course time has passed, but it was
Yeah.
like it definitely was like I was shocked. I was like, "You did what? That does not match the character that I've gotten to know."
Does
She
she
was
ever
like a
talk about, like, how she's, like, besides her she's, like, almost shocked out of it, like, shocked out of it what she witnessed with the
right,
guy, you know, when she went
right.
back and witnessed it, it's almost like at that point, she's, like, now convinced there's a Bigfoot, and at that point, her life changes and turns around? I mean, is
Right,
that
well, I
where
mean,
because you're
maybe.
right, the character's like she should still be like, "I still, like, rob people and still, like, like, drinking on the weekends or during at lunch break." I don't know. I mean, is that why she's late for class sometimes?
I guess the lack of swearing specifically, I was like, "There's no way. Your language is too wholesome for me to ever believe that you were ever a bad
Yeah.
girl." You know what I mean? She's
A
just
mean
too
girl.
wholesome.
Talking about, like, all 3 of these books, you know, we talk about the AI becoming the problem in the maze, but there was things that didn't happen that maybe we jokingly said you wish the main character was a robot or AI himself,
I
or
was I thought he was gonna do that. So, I mean,
yeah,
that one was surprising, but only surprising in that it didn't take I don't think any of these 3 books I don't think any of them took a lot of chances. I think everybody played it pretty much by the numbers. I didn't think anybody like I say, you kill Maddie in the middle of the book, that's a swing. Or if you kill her at the end of the book, that's a swing. Or if you come out of it and you're in the year is now 2100 or something, like, that's a swing, you know? I don't think any of them took any big swings.
after finishing the book, I felt like there was definitely some, like, patterns to the horror.
I always expected her and Maddie to get out and be together at the end. I never thought for a minute
What
that they
about
wouldn't.
what about, Eliza from I Know What I Saw, the main character in
One,
that.
as we were coming to the end, I was like, "Ooh, maybe she will just, like." I wasn't sure. Like I said, at the
No.
end, I know what I saw, and when I say the end, I mean, it's like it's only a 227-page book, and for 200 pages, she's never in any danger really at all. Like, not really. I mean, she's only really in danger when she gets in the car with the bad guy. I mean, which doesn't happen until, like I said, the last 20 pages. And then they take the drive, and then almost as soon as they get where they're going and the bad guy's monologuing, then
It
then
is very quick. That's almost too quick.
and she does get stabbed. I mean, it's a thing. And actually, wickedest of things, and I know what I saw, end the same way with the main character in the hospital, well, with the female lead in the hospital, horribly wounded, and the male lead in the little visitor's chair. I mean, that's how both books end.
Do you like this will be my last question. I think we should pick something and then there might be some follow-up here. But do you like in the carousel toward the end when they set the trap and then the trap sort of is like easily erased because of the chalk and how this is unfolding, but then they're all sort of attacking and wrestling this beast and kind of gouging eyes, scratching, stabbing. I mean, I like that as they're doing that, this black ooze is coming out. And it's like an acid instead of a blood. But I do you like this that they can now physically attack this, even though we've sort of been under the notion that you can't do that?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
everybody's like,
mean,
"You can't hurt him, you can't hurt him. You'll end up in the show." And then at the end, they're kinda like, "Well, let's give this another shot." And now that we've, like, sort of realized
but maybe since they started singing their magical song, maybe that weakened him a little bit or something. I don't know. I mean, there's only so many. I mean, you have to do something. You got to get out of the nightmare world. You know, they're running up on three. They're over 300 pages. They got to get out of there. It's fine. I mean, I didn't care. I was
I
like,
think they should have summoned I think they should have summoned the Wishmaker and had 2 demons that had to battle it out. So they summoned the Wishmaker, they sacrificed Maddie to make this guy go away.
that would have been interesting.
Or
That
Laura
would
was
have
gonna
been interesting.
sacrifice herself.
Right. So, well,
How are we
let's do
doing this?
this. Why don't we do this? We'll do the I'll hold we'll do one finger for carousel, two the number two for I know what I saw on one, two,
And what
three.
spot is
Okay.
this? What spot is this?
This is gonna be for the winner. This is
This
for
is
the
the
win.
winner? And what are the
This is
numbers
the
again?
winner. So you put up number one, carousel's the winner, you put up number two, I know what I saw is the winner. If they match, we drop the balloons. They don't, we have to control each other. We have to control each other. All right? All right, you ready? All right. 1, 2, 3, bam. You got all right. So we're all right. No one, carousel, carousel, you're the winner.
Uh, dude, I
Carousel's the
thought you were gonna pick the other book. That's why I started smirking. I was like, dude, he's gonna pick this. I know what I saw book, and we're gonna have this like this tie that we've been having the whole situation with book battle. We're gonna sit here and have to like talk through who should be the winner on the final show. I felt like you were
no.
leaning hard on I know what I saw. I
I
felt
was
like
trying
I
to
was
keep the suspense alive. I did like them both. I did like them both. I mean, like I said, I'd have really liked them both if I was the target audience, which I'm not. I mean, but if I was the target audience, I think I'd have really liked both of them. But now, Carousel is just it was just really good. I mean, I really liked the beginning. I think she could have taken some more chances in the second half, but the kids are there to see people get cut in half and shot out of cannons, and it's all good. Like I was into it. I think it'd be a cool movie. I was into it. I
yeah.
liked it.
Well, it
So
made me I mean, as I said, it's good timing that we were, like, reading this for, October here,
Halloween.
like,
Yeah.
Halloween. I was like, "Dude, this is good." Like you say, movie, that made me start thinking about other movies and different things. It was solid read. I think I asked you the question, like, was there anything in Carousel you felt was left out that you were hoping for? And I think you answered it by saying there was none of them took a chance to have a big twist that maybe they could have. I mean, there was twists and it was good, but like I felt like the other two had things missing that I was hoping for. Like I was hoping for Bigfoot in this one. I was hoping for maybe a more romantic connection amongst those 600 pages in the wickedest of things, and or the labyrinth to be more deadly, and then still throw the AI robot on there. I don't know, but that people were gonna die anyways in this labyrinth. That was like some weird couple up thing. That's what I really thought. So I feel like both those books, there was something missing where this one is like started off cool, kind of kept going. It followed through strong. It was a complete story. I didn't feel like there was anything lacking. Whether there was things that, what if they did this? What if they did that instead? That could have been cool. And the same thing here. This was a good read, and I liked how it did end.
So congratulations to Sarah McKnight and Carousel. You
Cheers.
are you
I
are
feel like
book
that was the
battle
winner from the beginning in
champion.
some weird way.
You are a book battle champion. You're going to be able to tell your friends for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I won book battle.
Yeah.
Like, is there
Yeah.
a greater honor than that? I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think so.
No, that is the greatest honor, especially the greatest honor of October 24th.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Cheers.